Talk Radio, final segment of today's Price of Business. Do want to mention today's program brought to you in part by CornerstoneBusinessAcademy.com. All right, going to go straight to our last segment guest, and I've been looking forward to learning more about her company. And Dimple Thakkar, did I get that name right?
Yes, you did.
Wow, I should get a gold star. Synergy. Tell us a little bit about your company. It's spelled differently than the way we know that word synergy, and that's SYNHERGY, synergy.com. Tell us about yourself.
That's correct. So we are a boutique social media marketing agency, mostly based in LA, but we're actually virtual, so all of our workers are kind of all over the place. And so we won tons of awards and nominations, the most recent being the Small Business of the Year Award with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We've also been nominated the top social media agency by a couple of different organizations. I think the most recognizable one was Mashable.com. And, we have a pretty diverse clientele, ranging from small businesses all the way up to medium to large-sized businesses. And basically what we do for clients is we help them with their online presence, but in social media. So we help brands and products with, increasing their exposure and reach and marketing message within Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, so on and so forth. And we do everything from the basics, the copywriting and the content strategy, all the way up to the higher level type stuff. So if a company or a business wanted to do a couponing campaign, we can set that up. Or if they wanted to form some strategic partnerships and do some sweepstakes, we could set that up as well.
Yeah. So tell me about the size range of the companies that you pitch to.
Yeah, so we've worked with everything from mom and pop shops to startups to all the way up to, even larger, more globally recognized brands. Our biggest client being Susan G. Komen, but we have specifically the Los Angeles County affiliate. Really what it comes down to is if the client has, a really serious attitude about marketing, they're at a point where they really want to take things to the next phase. That's really an important criteria. And the next thing is, that they have the budget, because the biggest misconception about social media is that it's cheap to do because it's free to use Facebook. But it's not really always the case. You have to have a budget for advertising and the graphics and the copywriting and the programming that all kind of go into play for making the marketing successful.
Right. So that's a pretty huge size range. What size company would you consider your sweet spot?
I would say the medium-sized businesses that have been in business for 10 or more years, and again, they're in that position where they want to take things to the next level. Usually what we do is we're actually really selective about our clients. We'll sit down and we'll do a full analysis on the company. If they seem to be a right fit, then we'll take them on board. And that's usually, our sales process is really strategic and thorough so that we're always matching up with clients that are ready to be successful.
Yeah, that makes sense. You want it to be a good fit. You want it to be a lasting relationship. Nothing worse than just getting money and the relationship not actually go anywhere and be beneficial to either one. So that makes a lot of sense. How are you different from your competitors?
One thing I've noticed is that, a lot of companies, and it's just even outside of our industry, they promise the typical things. We have great customer service. We have cutting-edge technology. We have, this and that. But we like to take it a step further and actually define it. When we say we have good customer service or great customer service, we actually tell our clients, you're going to receive responses to our emails in 2 hours or less. Same thing with phone calls. In extreme situations, you won't have to wait longer than 24 hours for a response from us. We let them know that they're going to get taken care of. We give them demos and thorough presentations so they understand our technology before they come on board. But I think the thing that we do that's most important in the sales process is we actually give them references to call. So we'll give them 3 to 4 names and phone numbers of existing clients and even previous clients that we've worked with on shorter campaigns, so they can call them and actually talk to them one-on-one without us involved about what it's been like working with us. so that they have peace of mind, when they sign paperwork with us and come on board as a client.
Very interesting. Very interesting. How important is high-level engagement in the organizations that you pitch to? Some companies, they can get to the actual person that actually handles that area. Other things, because of the uniqueness of the approach, that type of thing, requires higher level of engagement. Talk about that when it comes to your clients.
Yeah, do you mean who do we speak to within the organization?
How high in the organization do you typically have to go?
Usually we like to start with a director of marketing, and it kind of goes from there. And it happens because the high level and the C-suite level type people get involved because they're still trying to understand social media. Social media is less than 10 years old, so before they invest money in a relatively new area of marketing, they usually want to sit down with the high-level folks and kind of discuss it and learn a little bit more about it before they hire us. But it's interesting. We mostly end up speaking to the CEO in a lot of our cases when we are, approaching a client or they're approaching us.
Very good. Thank you so much for spending time with us, Dimple. Dimple Thakkar. Her company is called Synergy. It's spelled a little differently, though. SYNATRGY.com. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much. I appreciate being on.
You bet. When we come back tomorrow, we got much, much more for you. And, of course, 24/7, we got stuff for you at priceofbusiness.com and usgamingreview.com. Well, they're like them both on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Kevin Price. Have a great day.